I started by gluing down my eyebrows using Kids non-toxic purple glue stick. The glue stick will adhere the hair together and create a smooth surface to paint over and washes out with soap and water. Then, using Ben Nye color cups and foundation colors, I mixed a light brown color for the base and applied it all over my face. I then used Ben Nye's Final Seal to seal the base layer so it wouldn't move as I painted over it. Next, I started to contour the cheekbones using a dark brown color. I started by drawing a line where my cheekbones curve at the nose and then back towards my ears. I then blended the line a little in the lower part of the line and added a highlight above the line. This allows for a rounded effect. Next, I followed the basic concept of where I would start to contour the nose, but instead of blending an all-over color on the side of the nose, I only drew a line. This will give the illusion of the grain, as well as where the plane of the wood would shift on a carving. I then created a line on the side of my nose from my tear duct to the end of my nose as part of the wood grain. I slightly blended the lines towards the side of my nose and added a highlight to the other side of the lines where the light would hit. Next, at each corner of the mouth, draw a line straight down. This will create the mouthpiece of the puppet. The piece on a real puppet would be underneath the face in order to be movable, so the shadow will be towards the chin and the highlight will be towards the cheeks. In my design, I knew I wanted a vertical grain and a knot in my wood, so I started by roughly sketching an area of grain at my forehead and the grain around where the knot would go. I then filled in a misshapen circle in dark brown for the knot and added some darker brown inside the knot on the edges. And I used a black for where the wood cracks in the center. In the reference picture I was using, the grain lines were darker on one side, and it was always darker on the side of the knot, so I added a shadow towards the knot. I also used a bit of my base color to help blend it, since it's such a small space. The nice thing about wood is it's not perfect, so you don't have to be either. Next, I started to add in the grain on the rest of my forehead and blended the lines towards the knot. I added some color and line variation throughout to make it look not as uniform. I also went back in and darkened some of the areas of the grain I had blended too much. To contour my temples and create a more sunken flat look, I added a shadow in a half circle on both sides. I then added in a yellow color a grain going horizontally in small, light little wiggles. This will help to create more texture and depth. For the middle of the nose, I added a circular looking grain shape and added a slight shadow in the direction of the side of the nose. I then darkened the lines and shadow I did earlier. I added white underneath my eyes to make them look bigger and give a doll-like appearance. Then add the grain to the rest of your face and add the shadow. I started with my cheeks and continued to add color variation. Next, with the black cream color, I added new eyebrows and some highlight underneath them. Then I added the color Buck from the Urban Decay Naked palette all over my eyelid and up into my actual eyebrow. Then I took the black cream color and outlined the white and added the illusion of eyelashes and added eyeliner to the upper lid of my eyes. Next, I added blush in the color Orgasm from NARS lightly to not move the makeup underneath it. I wanted to have the illusion that the blush color was airbrushed over the wood grain. I then added the rest of the grain, including a circular pattern on my chin to help it make it look like a curve. I also added black to the mouth lines to make them more crisp. added red lips by using the same Ben Nye color cups. I first outlined the shape I wanted, then filled in the color. I then went back in and added the yellow horizontal grain again to the rest of my face and added mascara. This was my completed look.